Hey, me, Callie Carroll. Good morning, sunshine.
Morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, sunshines. Daily dose of perspective. Good morning, sweet baby sunshines.
Good morning, sunshines. Let's get started.
Today, I want to just take a minute and I want to talk to you guys about your RAS because I love this chapter. I freaking love studying the brain. I'm surprised I didn't go into psychology a little bit more. Maybe it's something that I'll do down the road, but studying what's up here and what it can make possible in your life is so interesting to me. And so it started back when I was an athlete and I had some injuries, so I had to mentally train myself all the time because I couldn't really physically do it because of some knee problems that I had. And it went on to be like in college, my thesis was on the mental aspect of athletics and how you could drive yourself to another area just by using the power of the mind. And now that I discovered that there's so many cool books, there's so many things out there where obviously this is the truth, right? You are what you think. You become what's in your mind, and all of those different studies are very intriguing to me, the studying of the subconscious versus the conscious. So today I'm just going to do a quick few minutes here on the RAS and what that means, and you can see if that applies to your life. This is from The Power of Consistency, guys. It's by Weldon Long. It's one of my first books. Absolutely loved it. And RAS is the Reticular Activating System. That is the part of your mind, and I take notes. So what I do is I read my books and then I take notes because I learn from taking notes, and then I learn again by teaching it. So this is kind of why I do this as well. It's kind of selfish, actually. So if you guys don't even want to watch it, at least I'm like retraining my own brain by doing it a third time. So in here, guys, you're looking at your reticular activating system, right? And where that comes is you guys keep hearing this over and over again. If you're watching any of my posts, they're going to be kind of repetitive. That's good because I'm trying to train your brain. And what you think is what you get. You are what you think. All of these different things from Napoleon Hill and Emerson and these quotes that have been around forever. What is up in your mind is absolutely 100% what is in your life. And the post that I've been talking about lately has been talking about like how you have a thought. So wherever that thought comes into your mind, the thought becomes an emotion. Like literally there's a physical process that goes through your body, a hormone, where you have something happen within you, an emotion. The emotion creates an action, and the action creates a result. And you can apply this to all sorts of different areas in your life, guys. It's the beginning of the year. You might be thinking about weight loss. You might be thinking about a hump in your career that you want to be able to get over. You might be thinking of a relationship of something you want to do. You might be thinking of education of something that you want to strive to be. So within there, we're programming our thoughts. Our thoughts create emotions. The emotions create the action, and the action creates the result. So in that, you are what you think. Everything in your life, everything that surrounds you is what you're putting into your own mind. And when you're looking at your reticular activating system, particularly when you're training your RAS off, and I've said this for a long time, like, train your RAS off, and people are like, what the hell is she talking about? I know, that's because it's a different language, and sometimes I make stuff up, especially with my head injury. It's real nuts and real fun. But your reticular activating system is basically what that is. It's your ability, it's your mind's ability to notice the things around you. So it's just how you perceive the world and what you note. And it's going to be where you're able to detect any threats and you run from the threats. So whatever you don't like, you're going to run from them, right? And you're going to dismiss a lot of things. And then it's how you are aware of opportunities and what do you, when you look around, you see, I guarantee you, if two of you are sitting in the middle of a stadium, right, and there's all these different people around, both of you are going to notice completely different things because your RAS is trained differently. You guys have different things that you're pre-programmed to notice. One of you is like on a health kick and you're you're ready to rock this year and you're sitting at a game. I'm going to pretend like it's a Broncos game, guys, even though the Broncos are done, but we'll be back. It's fine. So you're sitting there, right? One of you is going to be looking around and you see that guy eating a hot dog, you see that guy with his french fries, you see that guy having a beer, and that's all you notice because you're like, man, I gave all that stuff up, right? And the other one of you who doesn't even care about any of this stuff and doesn't have it, but you really have been looking for the best, most awesome new Bronco hat that you want in the world. All you're doing is seeing every Bronco hat that's out there. That's a really stupid example, but that's totally the truth, right? So both of you are really aware of completely different things sitting in the same setting. That's part of what your RAS is, your reticular activating system, for some of the people that are just joining on here. So I like to think of like the millions of things that we notice. Like each one of us notices completely different things. So I'm going to give you a couple examples and give me a thumbs up if this has ever happened to you. So have you ever, like you bought a certain car, or you started shopping for a car and you had a certain thing in your mind, like a certain car, and then all of a sudden, did you notice like there are thousands of them? Like every single time you realize that you wanted to have an Escalade, you see every single Escalade that's out there all the time, right? But before, you probably didn't even notice them. Another good example is going to be when, see your thumbs upping because this has happened to you. So for those of you that are parents, when you were 20, you never noticed anybody that was pregnant. You're like, I don't know what people are pregnant. But as soon as you're pregnant, like the day you find out, every woman's pregnant around you. Like you see them all, you're like, wow, there's like everybody's pregnant, everybody's having babies. Like that's all you notice, right? No thumbs up on this one because you guys are like, wait, nope, haven't been pregnant. So you're supposed to be telling me when you relate to that. All right, another one would be when you're starving and you're on your way home from work, like you're like, oh my God, or wherever you're driving around and you're so hungry because you didn't prep or you didn't have your food yet. You notice every restaurant that you pass. Like all you can think about is food, right? Because you're so dang hungry. Yeah, one of you is just like, yep, that happens to me all the time. Apparently it's the food thing. But then if you just had like the most bomb lunch and your tummy's completely full and satisfied and you're driving to the game, the Broncos game that we talked about that we're not doing, whatever. So you're going to it. You don't notice any of the places. Like you're not pointing out every single restaurant because now your tummy's full, right? Reticular activating system. And then the final one is cool. It's auditory too. It's your sight, it's smells, it's everything that you perceive. But another one would be an example of when you're at the airport. And, that PA system is calling over and over again, so-and-so, get to the gate, whatever. They're calling out name after name after name. You don't even hear it. Like, there's a PA system I didn't even notice until all of a sudden it's like, Callie Carroll, we're, boarding the flight, last guest, Callie Carroll, whatever. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, it's my name. Auditory, my RAS is identifying that because that's what it's trained to hear. So I think that probably makes sense to you guys, right? What your RAS is. It's your ability, it's your awareness to the things that are around you, and then your ability to just completely oversee the things that are not important to you. So it's continuously reinforcing what you think is. So what I mean by that is that, so it's filtering out anything that's not important to you. If becoming wealthy is not important to you, then you're not gonna notice other people that are interested in money. You're not gonna notice any piece of that, right? If owning an Escalade is not important to you, then it's not gonna be something that you notice. If having children is not important to you, you probably don't even notice kids around, right? But when something's important to you, that's what you notice all the time. When you're putting a thought in your mind, that's what you see all of the time. And within there, so it's gonna reinforce your beliefs, and it's gonna negate anything that you feel isn't important. And when you do that, what happens is basically you become right 100% of the time. Like every single one of you that are listening, you are right 100% of the time, no matter what you think. And every single one of you have different opinions, yet you're still right. And the only way that works is because you set up with your RAS, with your reticular activating system, what is right and correct in your world. And when you do that, you're only going to notice those things. So for better or for worse, for positive or negative, you're right all the time. And I'm going to get to an application here in a second. But let's see, I think one of the best ways to look at this are think about the people that are in your life and think about who is really positive and who is relatively negative. And you probably can think of like at least the flip side of the coin. Like you've got the one person is like, my gosh, Mary freaking Poppins all the time. Maybe she's not Mary Sunshine. What is that? I don't even know that. Mary Poppins really wasn't that happy all the time, was she? I mean, she was when she sang. Anyways, sidetracked. Okay, so you're super excited like that person. And then the other person's like Eeyore. Like, right? Who's your Eeyore? Like, oh my God, how are we? Like, I hate when you walk in, you're like, hey, how are you guys doing? And they're like, all right. Like that person, right? When it's never like, I'm incredible. Okay, so positive versus negative, that's your trained perception. And each one of us has the ability to train our RAS however we want. It's probably easier to train it negatively because we are so influenced by all of those that are around us that it's just an easier choice. So a lot of people make that one. But when you have that, a person with positive beliefs and expectations and this is just a quote from the book, right? A person with positive beliefs and expectations will almost instantaneously forget a negative situation that does not reinforce his or her mindset and they're going to remember the positive situation that does. So shit happens. That is a fact of life. Life happens all over us. Life's all over me for the last year. It just happens, right? So it's your perception. I did a few different quotes about perception in the last couple of days. It's how you receive the situation. And did you train your ass off on the negatives? Like, are you putting negative into your ass all the time? My life stinks. I'm this, and you reinforce it over and over again, because that's what you're going to notice. Something negative happens and it knocks you on your ass. It does, not your ass, your ass. It just knocks you down because all you're doing is thinking about negative all the time. Or are you training your ass to think of the positive, to find the positive in every situation? Today I posted about my gratitudes. Like, when you wake up and you're like, I am so thankful that this tree right outside of my window is supported by the roots that are in the ground and it didn't fall into here, and that it can carry the snow that looks so beautiful on top of it, and that it's sitting in front of the mountains and there's crisp, cool air, and just every single little thing. When you see the positive in everything, all of a sudden these situations are going to happen. And there's like, when something happens and you get a shelf that knocks you on your head and like all of a sudden you're out for however long, then you think, well, this isn't positive. I want to be positive. So where can I find my positive? I'm going to forget about this situation and light up my positive side. Is, what am I learning? What's God teaching me right now? Like, I'm going to see what the positive side of this coin is. And that's where you get your people really wants to get a hold of me. I'll call them after this. So your negative versus your positive. Okay. So how you program your RAS, your reticular activating system, over the long term is going to determine what your life is. Like, how you train your RAS is going to determine the long part of your life. Do a full-on inventory of what you have going on now. Where's your career at? Where's your financial at? Where's your financial, whatever, your income at? Where's your financial security at? What's in your bank account, right? What's in your relationship bank account? Like, how are your relationships going? Where's your spirituality? Where is your health at? Do a full inventory of how happy and how satisfied are you with what's in your life. Are you living each day, waking up super jacked up, excited for the next day? Are you thinking, shit, it's Monday again. I got to get through 5 more days before a weekend? Because to me, like, that's not the ideal lifestyle. And for some people, they're complacent and happy with that. And that's perfect too, right? It's whatever you desire, because you're the one putting the ideas in your RAS. Like, you're creating your own RAS, actually. You're not putting the ideas there, but you create your own reticular activating system. So if you get to decide what your life's going to be like long term, and your RAS, whatever you have that's in there, is going to be the determining factor of that, then what you want to review is that if you do the inventory and it's not exactly what you want, the coolest part of that is that you can change that. You can change it today. You have the option to make every single thing turn direction starting this moment, because you can start filling your head with different thoughts. And when you fill it with different thoughts, you're going to start noticing different things. You're going to start seeing different opportunities, and you're going to start ignoring and just dismissing different negative things. And all of a sudden, it's not like, oh, all this negative keeps coming to me. It's like, wow, all this positive keeps flowing to me. And it might not be that all this positive's flowing to you, but it's that you're noticing all the positive, and positive breeds more positive. And all of a sudden now, like, you're Mary flippin' poppin' sunshine, or whatever the name I was supposed to say before was, right? When you look at, like, one example that he gave is, a lot of people seem to be afraid of wealth. And our subconscious has been filled with all of the people around us in our life in the past. And there's just so many individuals where it's like, I don't really want to, I guess I don't understand it, because I'm not probably at that point. But so when Weldon Long's teaching this, he had a really big problem with wealth, because his dad always told him, like, salesmen are crooks, and if you have money, then you've done something wrong, and you're selfish if you've got money, and you you don't, whatever it is, like, you're greedy, you're dishonest. There's like negative things that have been put in their mind. So all of a sudden, when you have those different things, and that's what your RAS is telling you, then you actually will steer away from income opportunities. You're not going to even utilize your money well, because like you won't work with your money. Like, you're going to basically self-sabotage that part of your life, because it's something that your RAS is telling you that's bad. It's a threat. It's like a bear in the forest. Run from it. Like, you start making it, run as fast as you can, because that's what the back of your subconscious, your mind, is telling you to do. Where, some people, it's like, why couldn't I learn? Why couldn't I know? Oh man, you're back though. So it's like, where sometimes where you, like, why couldn't I learn successful, like, people earn money because they're successful and they're hard workers and they have a fully fulfilled life That's pretty redundant, but it's awesome, right? By being contributing individuals to our society, and they earn money because of it, and they have this big, beautiful life. Like, why can't our minds think that instead of thinking, oh man, like they're earning whatever amount? And that's just one example in here. Some other examples that they said, guys, is so if somebody tells you over and over again that you're stupid, and this could be yourself, it could be you or someone else telling it, you're stupid, you're fat, you're lazy, you're unorganized, you're klutzy, you'll never amount to anything. Or maybe you make your own excuses like, oh, I'm too busy to do that. I'm not motivated enough. I'm not as good as fill in the blank here. So you're training your own RAS to not amount to anything because you keep giving this negative reinforcements to yourself. And guess what? You're right 100% of the time. So if those are the things you're telling yourself, you're correct, because your mind's always right. So the only place to start is by training your RAS off. That's what I put on here. That's the name of the title of this guy. So train your RAS off, and literally anything is possible. And when you start to fill your mind with that, you're going to see that changes start to happen in your life. And we do this over and over again in our business, where we try to identify, like, why is that that person like kicking butt right now? Like, their business was here and now all of a sudden, like, they are doing absolutely amazing. It's because they're training their RAS off. They've changed what their expectations are for themselves. So they've changed what they notice. They've changed what they don't notice. And all of a sudden, these opportunities are coming their way. Right? And he says that the main thing is, like, you think, so they must have done all of these different things, but a lot of times it's being in the right place at the right time because you've chosen to notice that. So what that means is that if you're really out there and you're seeking for something more, for something better, your mind is going to be automatically programmed to see that opportunity and to take action. So if you notice the opportunity at the right time and you act, all of a sudden these aren't coincidences. It's just going to be that you're actually having your RAS, your reticular activating system, in the right spot, because that's it's always going to notice certain things, right? So now, instead of noticing the negativity of the situation, it notices the positivity. And I think a great example, like, I think success in your business is something that I'm always training with our team, so it's just really easy to talk about. But a great example would be that if you're really seeking to have a very successful entrepreneurship, and you're training your mind over and over again that I will earn 6 figures doing this by helping people and motivating others and inspiring them, and you tell yourself that over and over again, your brain is going to notice and it's going to seek out opportunities. Like when someone comes to you and says they just don't feel very great, and they notice that their whole office is sluggish, if you're not like if your like mind's not trained, you don't even notice it. Like, it goes right over your head. But if you're like on your A game, you're like, I'm gonna be really successful at this, and that's what you're noticing, you're like, I can help you, and I can help your entire office, whatever that is for you, right? So all of a sudden you notice that there's different opportunities. Your brain is trained to seek out what it needs to create the wealth, the success, the health, whatever you're looking for, because you've trained your mind to do that. If you set up a dream, like, this is just going to be like, let's just say there's 2 different dreams. My last thing right here. So if your big time thing is like, you go to bed at night and you imagine, you just dream of getting a job, and he's writing this from jail, right? So he really is starting at step 1. So if all you're thinking about is, I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to stay in that job for 30 years, and I'm going to retire, and I'm going to get my benefits, and I'm going to get married and have a kid, and that's going to be my life, then that's most likely what's going to happen. And once they get the job and they have something where they can retire, right? So they've got the job, check that off the list. I'm not going to look for any more opportunities. Find a marriage, whatever type of marriage it is, check it off the list, got that, kid, got that. Then you're going to create whatever you've already created internally in your mind. But if this is more so what you're thinking, if you've got more so of the mindset, so this is like where I would wake up and you say, like, you're dreaming now, same sort of dream, but different, okay? And you make the decision that I am going to build a financial wall around my family. I'm going to have $1 million in the bank. I'm going to have a beautiful marriage full of passion and excitement with somebody who I am just, completely obsessed with. I'm going to have incredible kids. I'm going to build relationships around me everywhere where I just influence people positively, and I'm always giving back. I'm going to have college funds paid off. I'm going to pay for my parents' house, my in-laws' house. I'm going to, I'm never going to, this is my favorite part of this, instead of retiring off that. Retiring is null and void because work is your life, and life is your work, and you're living a life you don't have to take a vacation from. Because if your life is a vacation because you're having so much fun, because you just love every piece of it, then you never need to retire from it. Like, you're always going to love doing that, right? So if you have one level, and I don't know what yours is, guys, but whatever you're thinking of, if it was that first story or if it was that second story, whatever you're building up, whatever your imagination is creative, like when you're just laying around, try daydreaming a little bit. And when you start daydreaming and thinking about what could potentially like become all of that would be around you, and like allow yourself to start daydreaming a little bit bigger and imagining a little bit more. And just know that if you're not ready to do that, whatever you're daydreaming of, whatever you're thinking of, that's going to be what you're getting. So whatever's in your mind is going to take place in your life. And when you make the decision to start to train your RAS differently, so train your RAS off in a different manner, then you're going to notice that things in your life just start to change. And until the point where you decide that you're going to start training, it starts here. This is your subconscious. That's where I point to it. Until you decide that you're going to start with that, and it's not going to be super easy, but you just start by visualizing and seeing things different and giving gratitude for everything that's around you and making baby step changes. When you start to change your reticular activating system just a little bit, you're going to start changing your thoughts. You're going to start changing the things that you notice out there. You're going to start changing the things that you don't notice that are out there. And then you're going to start having a different emotional reaction. You're going to start taking different actions, and you're going to have different results. I encourage you to go out there today and train your RAS off and create the most positive, beautiful life you could ever possibly imagine. All right, I got to go to gymnastics meet. So bye guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.